Between Huck and Bales, a PvP series. Right now, Huck leads 2-1 on the back of some great late-game Protoss versus Protoss. Let's go ahead and hop into Heavy Rain, our fourth and perhaps final map in this series, as Huck could close it out here. Spawning up in the top half of the map, the blue Protoss player representing Deimos Esports, and he's managed to change his logo somehow. It is Bales! The Deimos guys figuring out how to change it. I can imagine that we could one day see some pretty lewd things circling a Nexus.
I don't want to think about it, though.
And his opponent down in the bottom half of Heavy Rain, the red Protoss player, he is E.G. Huck. And I think it has to be said once more, Kevin, Huck's late-game PvP has just been better than Bales. The first time on Altrazim Stronghold, we said, hey, maybe it's a fluke, maybe it's nerves. The second time, we have to really attribute it just to Huck's excellent play. Constantly attacking in 2-3 locations at a time.
Yeah, of course he put himself in a great position after he was able to snipe that third base, but that's something that he completely set up for himself with that double Archon drop and then whopping in a few units, just kind of pulling Bills out of position a little bit. Above all, just distracting him and then able to catch a couple of Immortals. After that, I guess you could kind of say it was almost smooth sailing for Huck, but in a PvP it can always be hard to find openings, but Huck was doing whatever he could possibly do. Either way, Ben, we saw Bills opening up with a Stargate in 3 games in a row right now. Heavy Rain is a pretty okay map for Stargate in general because, you know, there's a lot of dead space around the bases. Then again, it's also a fantastic map for Blink Stalkers, perhaps even the best map there currently is in the map pool. I'd like to think so. So I don't think he can go straight up Stargate, because if he does that, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Huck straight up open with Blink, then also expand behind it, but still be able to semi-contain his opponent, or if not, run around with 4 Stalker hit squads and pick off an unlimited amount of probes. So I don't think we're going to see Bills open up with a Stargate this game.
You know, Huck has played very steady. He's not been getting aggressive. He's not been doing anything cheesy. I wouldn't be very surprised to see Huck change it up this time and opt for some heavy Blink Stalker aggression off of 1 or even 2 bases, as it's something that we know he has done to great success in the past. He's had a hard time shaking the reputation of being an all-in cheesy gateway player, but he's shown us here today that he is very good at playing the macro game. But I wouldn't mind seeing him return to some aggression here, as he is at match point.
Then again, it's so risky to be very aggressive when there are oracles out on the map, because if your stalkers are out of position, then you just lose a crazy amount of probes, and there's almost no coming back from it unless you immediately win. So whenever you want to be aggressive in this matchup, it has to be calculated aggression. You can't just like go all out anymore, because there are too many things that are going to straight up kill you with quicker DTs, cheaper DTs I should say, and those quick oracles. But we will see. I think this is an excellent map for just, you know, Blink Stalkers, but then expand behind it, so you can semi-contain your opponent and run around and try to kill work.
Before we get into the game here, I want to remind everybody that there's a lot of StarCraft still to come today. We've got Apocalypse versus Desero coming up after this, a little bit of Terran versus Protoss action, and then 4 more best of 5s to follow. We'll close out the day with Major versus Kane. A great Foreigner versus Foreigner, Zerg versus Terran. Yeah,
today's also the return of Violet, man. Finally, we're going to see Violet in some games that matter again. Of course, we saw him owning up the North American ladder a little bit, but I can't wait to see how Violet is going to play against the Chinese player top. Either way, let's focus on this, Ben, as Huck is indeed getting aggressive. He's going for the 3 gateway aggression, which can be pretty intimidating. Taking a look at Bill's build, Bill should be fine against it despite only having a single gate, but he's going to have to drop excellent force fields, and he needs to make sure that when he gets Photon Overcharge going, that it's on the right moment. I don't think that Bills is aware of what he's facing either. He's been playing kind of blind. This 3-gate aggression from Huck that could hit very, very hard, and it's also something he can transition out of, so it's not super all-in by any means.
Oh, Bales is going to walk down the ramp with a Stalker. He sees that Huck is setting up in his natural, so at this point he should be completely aware of what's going on. Bales is getting a very fast blink.
No, that's the wrong moment. Oh my god.
Wow, a terrible miscalculation there from Bales, making a hallucinated Phoenix not able to force field, and now he's going to give up his ramp. What do you do from here? He still has the energy for Photon Overcharge. It's not impossible to stabilize.
He needs to cast it right now. Okay, well, he waited very long. He keeps wow, actually.
Whoa, 1 Stalker is actually going to fall. That's a good pickup there for Bales.
It's playing with fire, man, but hey, if it works for you, it works. And he will be able to pick up 1 Stalker. That's some sick courage over there from a young Protoss player. That Photon Overcharge should carry him all the way up to the point where Blink finishes, and he will stabilize. And then he might be able to be a little aggressive on its own, but he doesn't have a robo, so it's going to be hard to be very effective with his blink.
Huck saw so little. Do you think Huck knows what he's up against yet? All he saw were gateway units, and he's going to come forward with the stalker advantage. And
I don't think he knows, man, because if he, unless he sends his back, because I'm very surprised he wipes in a sentry on this side of the map. If you know you're playing against blink, you do not want to wipe in a sentry, and I think that's why he's sending it home as well. I think at first he wasn't sure. This could still be a Stargate. This could have still been DTs. But after he saw those 3 Stalkers down the ramp, okay, that's too many Stalkers to do anything else than just a blink Stalker opening.
Huck is pulling not everything back. Wow, Huck
yes,
is
he's playing with fire. He's
playing a very dangerous game. Blink is done, and now Bales is going to come down to the low ground, and surprise, surprise, great blink micro exhibited already from Bales. Look at him keeping this last Stalker alive. Blink is ready. No. Huck will lose all of these Stalkers, and he will gain just a single Stalker kill. So now, what are you going to do if you're in Huck's position? He's got an Immortal out, so it will be hard for Bales to outright end the game here. But he's got an opportunity to do some good damage.
Yep, yeah, the Mothership Core is extremely important in this little push. He cannot lose it. Only has 64 HP though, so he's going to have to be very cautious with it. Because that Mothership Core is representing high ground vision, and that's when those Blink Stalkers are very good in heavy rain, because there is so much surface area I can blink in. And Huck's going to have to choose. Am I going to defend my main? Am I going to defend my natural? Or will I do both? If you do both, then most of the time you're going to be caught out of position on one side, where either you won't react in time, you're going to lose a lot of workers, or you could straight up lose the fight. So I guess he's gonna keep he's splitting up a little bit by bit, but still this could be kind of tricky.
Instant photon overcharge and a natural here for Huck, and Bales is just gonna poke a little bit and ultimately have to blink away. Doesn't lose anything, takes a little bit of damage on some Stalkers, but so far you know, it's going okay. I feel like Huck's done a good job already of deflecting this attack, though. Bales, by the time this photon overcharge has finished, there will be at least a 3rd Immortal, maybe even a 4th.
No, like Bales is not looking to straight up end the game here, which is a very wise decision, because we saw him drop the Nexus immediately. It's so easy to think like, hey, I picked up a few units, I can run across the map and try to win, but never underestimate Photon Overcharge and Immortals. Bales has to be very careful here, as Immortals do sick damage to Stalkers, as we all know, and well, he blinks out in time, doesn't kill a single unit. I do think what he should have tried to do is at least, I guess it's kind of hard because Huck had an Observer on top of his army, and I guess that Bales also saw the fact that Huck had an Observer on top of his army. I would still like to see him blink in 4 Stalkers in the main and pick up a few pros, because in the very first moment there were very few units for Huck to worry about. Work with.
Bales, pay attention, man. He's going to take almost critical damage on a single Stalker. It's going to have to back off, and I think Bales is done with his aggression. So this works out nicely for Huck. He finds himself ahead in economy. He's got his 2 bases. He's got superior tech with his robo done and his robotics bay already constructing. Bales is only working on his 1st Immortal now, so he's playing some serious catch-up.
Still, these Blink Stalkers, eventually they might be able to pay for themselves if he's able to find a small opening onto the high ground. Like, I really think in the start that was the moment to do it, because there was only like 1 Immortal, maybe a 2nd Immortal out on the way, but they were worried about defending the natural. You also don't want to send your entire army into the main base, because then if he forces you out in your natural, you're gonna lose it. So I think it was the moment for Bales to do some damage with 4 Stalkers, run around, and even if there's a single Immortal, you just avoid it, you blink further in the base, and you pick off as many probes as you can. I think he missed a small opportunity there.
It could be that he missed his window. We see a new hallucinated Phoenix coming forward. I think we're going to see Bales attempt for the first time to blink up into the main base. But Huck is just all over it, man. He knows exactly what he's playing against. His army's in the right spots, and I think at this point Bales realizes that there are no opportunities for aggression.
Bales getting a Stargate now, Ben. In a crazy phase in the game. He did see, of course, the robo. I guess he saw the 2nd robotics facility as well, where those hallucinated Phoenixes. So he's gonna try to get Tempest out this time, and Huck has a bunch of sentries on his own. They have a lot of energy, so Huck will hallucinate some Phoenixes soon as well. Blink Stalker is gonna try to pick up the Mothership Core and will succeed. No!
Oh man, so close. 4 hit points left as Bales backs off. I think he even lost a couple of Stalkers there.
Yeah. I mean, losing the Stalkers is not the end of the world, but look at Huck. Huck's adding a lot of gates, man. Huck wants to get aggressive on 2 bases. Did he scout the Stargate transition? That's what I wonder about, because normally, you know, on 2 bases always hard. 2nd Stargate going down as well, and Fleet Beacon. So right now it's a race against the clock for both players. Bales needs time to get those Tempests out. Huck needs to hit before Tempests are out, or at least before there are like 4 Tempests.
Well, here comes Huck. He's already pushing forward. Bales is going to use this.
Oh, picked up the probe. That's nice.
Blink away. I guess Huck maybe just wanted to take a third. Is that what we're seeing? Hard to say.
Yeah.
All those extra gates really make it seem like he wants to push, but
Yeah.
he is sending another probe out.
You see Bill's even making an emergency void ray. He's like, need something. Fleet beacon not ready.
I think Bales is doing the absolute right thing here, Kevin. He's fighting with these stalkers as much as he can. He's trying to buy time and just annoy Huck.
Huck
but
hasn't scouted in a while, which I find very surprising, taking into consideration that he has 3 sentries full of energy. Up. Colossus will be able to zap away and kill 1 blink stalker. There's a mothership core. Like, I like why Bills really wants to pick up that mothership core, because in general you don't want to move out without a mothership core, as time warp is so important in these Immortal Archon fights.
Oh man,
it seems like Huck is kind of aware of what's going on. He cancelled that. No, the Nexus never went up. There was a hallucinated Phoenix that ran out. So for sure Huck will be able to force a cancel on this Nexus.
That's a massive army. 14 Zealots. He's got 4 Colossi. First Tempest is out on the map. How long does it take a Tempest to kill 4 Colossi?
Well, if he gets 3 Tempest, Ben, I suddenly believe in miracles again. Bunch of Blink Stalkers. The recall being forced with not the entire army. This is perfect news for Bills. Even though he's still going to have to run away here. He picks up that mothership core.
Wait, Huck's going to send everything back home. He's not even going to try to attack, and suddenly...
he's losing a lot of pro. This is great for Bills. Absolutely fantastic counter pressure. I think that maybe Huck just should have gone for it, but Huck has not scouted, Ben. It's such a long time. Huck doesn't know what we know.
Huck's going to catch a lot of these stalkers. Only 2 stalkers remain, so now maybe Huck can think about getting aggressive once more, but it could be too late. There's two Tempests out, a 3rd Tempest on the way.
He barely has any anti-air. Okay, he's warping in a bunch of Archons now. That's something. Finally, Ben, we're going to see hallucinated Phoenix count for Huck, and I really wonder what Huck is going to do when he scouts what we know. The fact that there are going to be 4 or 5 Tempests out on the map. Okay, we see the rocks. Okay, now he's going to see a Void Ray.
And
he still doesn't see it. And now he might actually be misleading. Now he might think like, hey, my opponent's going to try to go for Tempest. I should attack right now. But that would be a wrong decision. I don't think that he can finish him off anymore.
He is setting up a pylon and he is pushing forward. Huck still has a very large army.
Yeah, but trust me.
Oh, if this Nexus were done and it was a spot for Photon Overcharge, I would...
Colossus are going to melt.
4 Tempests is too many.
I mean, the only thing that builds... of course, it's still tricky, but this is a nice map for Tempest as well. Here come those Tempests.
Oh, and there is just so little anti-air. Still, though, the Tempests are a little bit exposed. Huck walking right underneath him. Colossi going to fall very, very quickly. Stalkers are not attacking Tempests.
But still, actually, like the Tempests are kind of mis-shooting at these Colossus, man. It took them a very long time to finish them off. Eventually, all the Colossus will fall, but the Tempests are going to fall as well. Charge is ready, though, and these Zealots and this 1 charged Void Ray is dealing so much damage.
Probes even coming into the mix. Probes versus Archons is not a fight you really want to see. Huck has nothing but Stalkers and 2 Immortals against only 2 Immortals for Bales. Bales is going to back off. A new Void Ray and some Zealot Warpins are going to try to change the outcome of this fight. The Immortals coming back. Maybe they can save this thing. Wow. Zealots trying to turn the tide. 1 Immortal against 3 Stalkers and 2 Zealots. The Immortal hammers away but does go down. Huck with a big reinforcing wave of Zealots may be able to end the game right now. Bales is out of money. He's got a single Tempest, but that is not what he needs.
Well, it takes Tempest a long time to focus Stalkers down, but there is 1 Void Ray. This 1 Void Ray might actually save the day. What is the next reinforcement wave from Huck? It's going to be more Zealots. So maybe these few units can clean it up, but Huck is sitting on 3 bases behind this as well. Here's this 1 Archon for Bills. Is he going to survive?
Nope. He's going to go down very quickly, and now...
that was a really, really cool fight for Huck. There was a big problem with Bills' focus fire on these Colossus. He had 4 Tempests, but he needed 5 of them. So then he got 1 Archon, or 1 Colossus down to like 20 HP, but then he got another one down to 20 HP, and then he shot with all 4 of them on another one. So just a lot of overkill and a lot of missed opportunity. And those Colossus were able to deal out way more damage than they should have done.
Huck's continuing to press forward. He will kill the Void Ray. He will be able to focus down 1 Tempest. No, he doesn't. Bales with some good control here on his Tempest, but man, he is losing so many probes to Zealots. He is going to lose his 2nd Tempest. That means there's only a single Tempest and a couple of Warp Ends. It looks like Huck has broken through. Bales showing us some phenomenal games, but it's E.G. Huck who seems to be the better PvPer on this day. Just great decision-making from Huck. A couple of unfortunate mistakes for Bales, certainly we can say.
It was a really fun series, a very back-and-forth series where in multiple games Bales put himself in pretty good positions, but in the end Huck just picking really favorable engagements for himself. It all got so close. Bales will be able to survive perhaps here as well by the skin of his teeth, but not before losing a ridiculous amount of workers, and with only 15 probes, it's all over.
Yeah, it's certainly the writing is on the wall. We can definitely say that Bales put himself in good positions throughout this entire series, was very close to winning Game 2, was in a good spot even in Game number 3, and here in Game 4, once more found himself with a fight that maybe could have gone better. But
it was really close. If that would have been like 12 seconds later, then it would have been much better for Bales. Huck hitting is, I'm not even sure if it was still timing, because against 4 Tempest it could be hard. But Bales is miscontrolling and misfocusing a little bit with the Tempest. Massive overkill on 2 Colossus and not killing the other 2 Colossus when he could have killed them.
Huck even loading a Colossus into a Warp Prism to show, no, this could be questionable. We're going to see the final fight of Bales, just throwing his last units into the third base of Huck. Huck, massive warp ends, brings his, not even going to bring the Warp Prism back. He's just going to send it across the map. This one's over, guys. The Tempest is going to get chased down by the Stalkers. The Archons of Bales are really sticking around for a long time, but the supplies telling a very telling tale. 85 supply to 30.
Huck just has a lot of reinforcements right now that Bales won't have. Even though army supply is surprisingly close, it was like 20 against 29. Now it's 16 against 31, and above all, Bales just has no economy while Huck is sitting comfortably on 3 bases and will be wiping in a lot of units.
Huck with the laser firing Warp Prism, just kind of showing off a little bit here at the end of things. Bales still pressing forward with what units he has. He's making Huck work for it, but with another huge wave of reinforcements, it has to look like this is going to be the end for Bales. The Stalkers are going to fall, the Archons are going to fall, and Bales is going to tap out. Good game, well played. E.G. Huck takes the first best of 5 of the day. Not only knocking out Bales, but cementing his spot in the Premier League. So congratulations, Huck. Cannot wait to see how he does in WCS America Premier League, which starts up in February.
Yeah, I think this best of 5, at least for me, kind of went in the line of prediction. Bill's showing that he's an excellent Protoss player, definitely capable of putting up a good fight, but in the long run, Huck just a little better, and also showing that he's just a more experienced player. 3-1 victory for Huck. That's what I predicted before this series started. So overall, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun to watch, and Bill's made a really good showing for himself.
Yeah, great games from Bales. Congratulations to him for showing some good games. Congratulations to Huck on advancing to the Premier League and securing $2,000.
At least.
Basically a $2,000 best of 5, so very well done there, Huck. I guess that means it's time for us to kick it into our next break. Guys, we're coming up with Desero versus Apocalypse, a little bit of Protoss versus Terran action. Stick with us, WCS America Challenger League. We'll be right back.